4 years ago, when I asked if AI would replace CAD designers, the comments were brutal. "No son of a mother can write code for this," one comment said. I agreed. I stayed safe. I said AI would just be an assistant. Now, we're only 4 years into the future, and the time for safe debates is over. The theoretical threat is now a reality, and the answer is no longer a mystery. If you're not above average, you will be replaced. Not by AI, but by something far more likely. Since the start of 2026, I've been living with a high level of stress. I've spent 19 years in this industry. My lifestyle, my business, my source of income, built on SOLIDWORKS. I got tired of searching for answers from experts who don't actually model. So I decided to find the truth for myself and for other mechanical engineers. I decided to build an AI that could replace me. I went dark. I stopped uploading YouTube videos. I stopped responding to my emails. I spent 10 hours a day, every day, working with Claude Code and SOLIDWORKS API. I took advanced classes, failed 1,000 times, and I pushed myself to a breaking point to see if my 19 years of experience could be reduced to a single prompt. 3 months in, I built what I call CAD Base. It's a module that companies have raised millions to develop, and I built it alone in my room. And when I finally ran the comparison, I was both shocked and relieved. This baseball bat was designed by an AI. You see, it has the details, it has the handle. Look, I 3D printed it. Home run. It was not made by me. It was not made by a human. This is made by AI. Now I'm gonna demo this because obviously I have practice with a baseball bat, but what I have not practiced are a few bunch of random things I'm going to ask it for the first time on the screen. Design a baseball bat. I wish I made a timer. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and add the rest to it. All right. How much? Pause, stop. This is the baseball bat. Now let's continue with more advanced stuff. Round all the sharp edges. 45, okay, sharp edges are rounded. I can see that. Now let's try to make things I haven't seen. It's gonna be fun. Okay, let's go with design something. And let's time it. Is that a rook? I play chess. It looks like a rook. Design a pawn. What? Oh, it wasn't finished. It was still working. That's why I couldn't type. The pawn guy started. We have a pawn. Let me see if the rook actually worked or failed. Failed silently. Last feature. All right, let's design something else. What if we ask it to design a bishop? Maybe I can 3D print all the chess pieces that CAD-based designs for me. All right, let's see. Looks kind of like a bishop-y thing. I'll take it. All right, let's just do one more. Design a queen. Oh, the knight. The knight is gonna be challenging, huh? Okay, that's your queen. Not very queeny, but okay. We'll take it. Design a knight. Riddle me this. 2 years ago, a beginner would have nothing to do, would stare at a blank canvas. Today, the beginner is right behind me. Think of AI as this tsunami. It's raising the floor. The beginners are being lifted up towards the pros. The gap is shrinking. But here's the part nobody's saying. AI didn't move the ceiling as much as it pushed the floor up. If the water level is rising, the only way to stay relevant is to move your ceiling higher than the AI can reach. Think about it. A few years ago, when a beginner had to look at a blank canvas, companies would pay top dollar to get pros and experts because that extra money they paid brought him a huge difference in quality and speed. Today, they're getting less leverage with the same amount of money for paying for a pro than just an intermediate who uses AI. So the money they're paying today is not bringing that much ROI. That's why it's important to understand design and design intent and not just memorize buttons. And that's how I designed all of my courses for my students. It's about engineering logic. You need to oversee the AI. Because while the floor is rising, the history of our industry shows us that the tool is as good as the person driving it. We've seen this once before. I haven't, but some some of you might have, in the early 60s when Sketchpad came to life. Mind you, NASA created Apollo 11, planned and executed successfully before CAD. So nothing but drafting tables, slide rules, and hand calculations. Those guys were giants, and I think if you are a mechanical engineer, you would have respect for those engineers. But if you brought one of those giant engineers of NASA from the 60s to 2026 and sat him next to a junior engineer fluent in SOLIDWORKS, who gets the job done faster? The engineer from NASA might design something flawless, but he's holding a pencil and a paper. The junior engineer is holding a digital assembly with tolerances, simulations, and 3D files ready for manufacturing. The junior might replace the giant, not because he's a better engineer, but because he has the better tool and he's more acquainted to it. The replacement isn't by the tool, it's by the CAD user who uses the tool. In this case, the CAD designer who uses AI. But using AI doesn't mean asking ChatGPT to design a gearbox. That's a liability. In engineering, a hallucination isn't just a mistake. It's a disaster. If the water level is rising, you need a boat, not a toy.
But here's the thing. Building a part is only one layer of this problem. My little AI module showed me what's coming. It can create basic models and help beginners. But as a real mechanical engineer, you would need more than that. You need an AI that can understand materials, fasteners, mechanical concepts, previous designs, PDM, calculations, and a lot more.
That's why we teamed up with the sponsor of this video, Leo AI. Unlike a standard AI, Leo uses a large mechanical model. It's trained on verified materials, fasteners, and standards. When it gives you an equation, it cites the exact page of the document it came from. It doesn't guess a wall thickness. It finds the right one based on actual engineering data. It handles the parts of the design where you can't afford to be wrong. For bigger companies, if you're working among thousands of other engineers in big companies who have been around for years, it crawls into the PLM. It finds the designs that already exist and it scans the design you're doing and it tells you, hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You already have a similar component designed, ready. You just have to use it in your design. You don't have to redesign this spring over here, for example, because the company you're working for had designed these springs over the years and you have so many options and they're more or less compatible with your design. And even if it's not, I can generate one for you. Let's put that into a demo. I am designing a spring to put under my elevator, and I want the elevator to be about 1,000 kilograms. So when the elevator lands on the spring, I want the spring to compress 10 centimeters. This spring has 6 revolutions of coil. The height is about 30 centimeters. Now, I don't know what the coil diameter should be, nor do I know what the K value for the spring should be, or the outer diameter of the spring is, let alone the material. I need you to do the calculation for me and tell me, one, the material I need to use, the outer diameter of the spring, and the diameter of the coil. Can you do that? Over here, I have the thinking level. I'm gonna leave it on auto and let Leo decide which one is required for this question. All right, it's bringing the formulas up. Something gorgeous just happened here. You see these numbers? These are my references. Look, it gave you the recommended material, chrome, silicon steel, ASTM A401, which is something I have created in my SOLIDWORKS before because it's a very useful material. But look, it gives you the reference. When I click on it, it opens the page on that reference book. And it brings up 2 pages before that page and 2 pages after that. So this is where the formula is coming from. It's highlighted, as you can see. It's not just randomly throwing it out there just like ChatGPT or other LLMs that you have to take their words at face value. It opens page 523 where this material is recommended for this, or this formula is stated on, and it tells you here's your reference. This is your assurance. All right, the spring looks like this. Ready for reading the displacement? The simulation proves the calculation that Leo AI gave me because the displacement is exactly 10 centimeters. So that was a reliable piece of information. Also, if you don't have the means to generate the CAD model yourself, maybe you don't know how to or you're not able to, Leo AI also has a built-in generative AI to generate some CAD models for you that you can download and import into your model that works the same. Now, imagine you don't have that luxury. imagine you don't work with a tool like this and you are a senior engineer. You are given a task, you start to design everything from scratch. Of course that works, but that junior engineer next to you with less experience who uses something like Leo immediately finds the design and immediately pulls himself ahead of you. He's faster, it's more reliable, and it's a battle-proven component because the company has made it before. So you would need something like that for you, for a mechanical designer, not something like ChatGPT to tell you, oops, I was wrong, sorry, when it makes a mistake, because you are the one taking the responsibility. And you want something that can actually show you the proof, how it is calculating that recommendation that it's giving you, not just, it's like that. Only then you can say, I'm a CAD user, a mechanical engineer who is acquainted with AI. Now you are becoming a little bit less irreplaceable. You are more valuable because you're upgrading yourself. You are qualifying yourself to move to the next level, to the next generation of designers. I started this journey wanting to see if I could be replaced. What I found terrified me as a business owner, but relieved me as an engineer. AI has made Average free. If your only value is knowing the buttons, you are the giant with a pencil. The irreplaceable engineer of 2026 is the one who knows enough to tell the AI when it's wrong and to know which tool to adopt. By the way, if you want to learn more about Leo AI and if you want to bring it to your company, because I think you need this, I'm going to put the link below this video in the description. Go check it out. Now, I'm spending the rest of 2026 helping mechanical engineers move their ceiling up, and it starts with a free guide I made for you. The exact AI workflows I use for SOLIDWORKS today, with everything those 1,000 failures taught me. Link in the description below this video. Go get it, sign up, it's free. We will be in contact about this more because I'm developing this and you will be updated as I release it more and more. And one more important thing. I asked this question 4 years ago. I'm asking it again today. For that, I'm putting a poll under this video. 2 options. AI replaces me or I work with AI. Let me know where you stand because when I asked this the first time, most people said, no way. AI is not going to do anything that puts me in danger. Now, I want to see if your opinion has changed and maybe we come back to this video 4 years from now in 2030. By the way, which brings me, make sure to subscribe and watch this video over here, which I will be uploading in 4 years time. For now, I'm going to put a placeholder video in there, but if you're watching this video in about 2030, this would be the next episode, next coordinate point to this second one. Thank you very much for watching.